Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we are cooking up my take on tacos al pastor, kind of an at-home version. Traditionally, tacos al pastor are made with pork on a spinning spit and then it's topped with pineapple. And it came to Mexico as a fusion from Lebanese immigrants and is one of the main staple taco types in Mexico. For my version, I'm using chicken thighs, and I made a marinade with some adobo chili peppers and then made kind of the meat tower with some skewers in the oven. And then I also made a black bean and corn salsa, and it's roasted, it's really tasty. And I'm telling you, these tacos, for a relatively simple recipe, the depth of flavor on them is insane. So I hope you guys try them. And without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy the video, and let's get cooking. So start off, we're going to make our marinade for the chicken. So I have some whole cumin seeds that I'm crushing up in my mortar and pestle. And you can see all I'm doing is going around and keeping constant pressure on it as opposed to chopping them down. And these are super, super fragrant once they're broken up. Next, I have the chili peppers in adobo sauce. So this is going to give us kind of that classic flavor. And all I'm doing is putting in 3 with some of the sauce, giving that a quick mash. And then also going to add some salt and then a habanero pepper. I want some extra heat in there. And you can see for the habanero, it's a little bit more fibrous, so I'm kind of jamming down and hitting and crushing it, as opposed to the spices where I was just running around the edge. Then last, I'm adding a pinch of cinnamon just to give this a nice depth of flavor. I think it really makes a difference, so give it a try. And you see we've got this nice rough paste that's going to be our marinade. I'm using chicken thighs for the recipe, and I would definitely recommend using chicken thighs because they have more collagen than something like a chicken breast. And since we're slow cooking them, the collagen will break down into gelatin and give the meat a really tender, juicy texture. Now that we've massaged our chicken with the marinade, we are ready to prepare our meat tower. So instead of pineapple, I'm opting for a lime and just throwing some skewers through it. And then all you have to do is throw the meat down on top until you make a nice meat tower. So we're just preparing our tower, getting everything connected, and then I'm just going to throw another lime on top before we throw it in the oven. And for the oven temperature, it's going to be 250 degrees and probably for about 3 hours total, during which you'll have some incredible smells going throughout your house. So we're going to say goodbye for later and start our roasted corn salsa. So we've all had these kind of salsas before, but I think the real key to get to is providing char with some of the ingredients. So we're going to be doing this for our corn and the habanero. So we're just going to clean our corn and spray it down with a little bit of cooking spray and throw this on a pretty hot cast iron. This is medium-high heat. And you want some nice char marks. So we're going to let this go for a couple minutes on each side and just turn it. And then we're looking for char marks around the entire outside. Once that is all charred up, I'm just taking a knife and slicing down the side so we can get our corn off. And then we'll start preparing some of our other ingredients. Before we do that, just a quick update on our chicken. This is about 45 minutes, so I'm just going to kind of turn it and put it back in. Now we are going to roast our habanero, so I'm just throwing this on a gas burner. If you don't have a gas burner, just do this in the oven on broil. And the roasting is going to take out a little bit of the spiciness of the habanero and also provide some sweetness and depth of flavor. So what I'm going to do is throw this in some saran wrap, and that's going to steam it so that outer edge comes off easier. And now I'm just chopping up an onion. Then we're going to do some cilantro as well. Just give that a quick chop. And now just throw everything together. So that's a can of black beans. I just washed them off. Throwing in the roasted corn. Throwing in the onion. And then throwing in the cilantro. And then last, so you see how that just peels off. So basically it was steaming in that saran wrap. Makes the outer edge come off real easy. And now we're going to throw in the habanero. Now for just a quick kind of vinaigrette, I'm just throwing in a tablespoon of olive oil and a juice of 1 lime. Super simple. Going to provide some nice sourness to this to mix with the sweetness of the corn, the spiciness of the habanero, and it's a nice well-balanced salsa. Just throwing in a little bit of salt and pepper to finish, and then give that a mix and store that in the fridge. So 2.5 or 3 hours later, we have our beautiful tower of chicken, and I'm just going to cut this off into the pan. And this is super flavorful and juicy. And then always squeeze that extra lime in there. So I'm just going to cut this into smaller bits, and we're going to crisp this up in the pan. So with traditional al pastor, you'd kind of get crispy bits from the outsides, but it's hard to get that by slow cooking in the oven. So I'm doing it in the pan. Just giving it a quick mix around, and then you can see on the other burner I've got some tortillas that are crisping up over there. And then just to serve this up, I'm putting a small sprinkle of cheese, and then we're going to add our chicken that was crisped up in the pan, and then adding a spoonful or 2 of the black bean corn salsa to each one. And now we have our finished product. So super simple ingredients, super flavorful. I cannot express this enough. Here's the nutrition and price information on screen. And let me know if you guys give these a shot. They're super tasty. I literally had these for like 3 days in a row. So that will wrap it up for this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.